Well met, traveler. So we felt. I truly didn't believe you'd manage it. But from the beginning, I sensed something in you. Something different, perhaps. Not entirely natural. In any case, remarkable work. Accept this gift in thanks for what you've done. The Forge Board is one of the Brotherhood's greatest achievements, and one of its darkest sins. Generations ago, a master named Orhan grew convinced the other brothers sought to steal his smithing secrets. In a frenzy of paranoia, he sang a guardian into being, then another, each more volatile than the last, until his creation slipped beyond his control. He did. Though they say he showed no signs until it was far too late, our Forgeborn is one of his final works, and one of the most powerful. It's a miracle we managed to claim it, to bend its fire to our service without letting it slip into blood rage. Now you understand why its existence must remain secret. Were the offer to learn what fuels our forge, it would be the end of the Brotherhood, with or without Thrigva to lead the charge. Maybe. But first, we talk. And I expect you to speak plainly. Lie to me, and you can forget I ever saw you as anything close to an equal. Let alone someone honorable enough to join the Stone Warden Brotherhood without Dalrita blood. You understand? Good. I heard what you did in Kunakt with their Minhir, fading fast until you passed by. That wasn't a coincidence. And I'll admit, the last task, the collapsed entrance and the Forgeborn, that was a test. I needed proof for a theory of mine. Now tell me, you're not alone, are you? You carry a power only the Four Dwellers ever had. No need to explain. I already have my suspicions. There's more to you. Or someone inside you. Someone important. Someone with the power to bend Avalon's fate. If I were you, I'd keep that particular companion well hidden among the Dalrita. We have our own legends about King Arthur. Like it or not, we owe him for bringing us to Avalon and granting us these lands. That our king will return, awaken our giants, and command the weirdness to serve him. And watching how you handle places thick with the cursed mist, I'd wager the king's return is near. But the truth is, you're handling the weirdness faster and better than anyone I've ever seen. And there's got to be a reason for that. So if I'm right, and I may very well be, then I have a task truly fit for King Arthur himself. And that's no figure of speech. It's in a place only a returning king could ever reach. It's about our lost tribe, not Gunvalur, who was slaughtered to the last, but Orkrata, who truly vanished. Many of our Stone Warden kin were among them, including our former commander, Hovar. Honor the mans we find them and lay them to rest properly. The trouble is, not a single body has ever been found, despite all our searching. The finest fine hunters overturned every stone and came back with nothing. The trail leads to the gate of the Four Dwellers in an abandoned village. We sang to the stones, trying to open it, but the gate wouldn't budge. Once it glowed blue, but that was all. That tells me something far more powerful than any Dalrita blacksmith or miner is guarding it from within. To me, it's just another story, but I'll share it in case there's any truth to it. The Aghirata worshipped the winter goddess Kalia, and the herd of tame weird deers always guarded her altar. But someone dared to kill those deer for their magical properties, and that, they say, was the start of the Aghirata's downfall. Who knows? Perhaps it's Kaliak herself who holds them in that purgatory. Complete this task, and you'll be worthy of joining the Stone Warden Brotherhood. If you achieve this miracle, believe me, whether or not you're Dalrita will no longer matter. Ask your inner friend for help if you're scared. May Mother's strength guide your hand in battle. Until next time.
The forest whispered, the fire screamed, the bones agreed, and at last, here you are, just in time. The horned god told me, before hatred blinded him. He said your paths would cross that you would bring redemption or ruin. In my dreams, I hear the crack of seals and snapping bones. The horned god, cursed with pain and blood, tears at the bonds I used to bind him. The earth trembles with his fury. Can you feel it? Soon, he will break free. And then we shall pay for calling him with blood, not faith. My disciples, my sons and daughters, they strayed. After the Gunvalda massacre, I and the others who served the horned god could not bear the shame. We heard our kin cry out and turned our heads. We betrayed our blood. The most devout called upon the old powers, out of grief, out of rage, but without reverence or care. They begged the horned god to come and punish us. And he did. Not as a guardian, not as a spirit of the woods. He came as fury, pain, and slaughter. They opened a door, and I gave them the key, in the form of songs, rites, and signs. I didn't think they'd reach so deep into the dark. By the time I saw what they were doing, the earth was already soaked in blood. Yes, Gudri, who took the horned god's fury into himself to save us all. He reached for blood and bone, and let me turn his body and soul into a vessel for the god's essence. I sealed it with wards, like a cage of thorns. But the god's wrath will tear through them, sooner or later. And when that happens, there'll be no saving us. If you want to bind a god, you don't choose the method. You use everything. Old songs stolen from the dead, runes slick with black blood, teeth and claws. The horned god in his hate-twisted form was a nightmare that came to devour us all. The finest warriors of the spine, the pride of our tribe, gave their lives on the altar of battle to weaken him. He cannot be healed. He will not forgive us. But I can try to keep him bound by will, by bone, and by blood. To do that, I need a fragment of his original self, the first trophy. The skull of the first stag ever hunted and offered in sacrifice to the horned god. It will remind him of who he once was. Bind his essence to the first offering, one made out of reverence, not fear. It may hold him in the unrealm of the hunt, long enough for me to complete the rite that will seal him there. It's hidden, tied to the places where we once worshipped the horned god. 3 shrines, as old as the forest itself. But now, they must be destroyed. Each one is guarded by a servant of ancient memory. Kill them. Cast down what still remains upon their altars. Once all 3 fall, the 4th shrine hidden and forgotten, will reveal itself. The first trophy waits there. No, I saw you in the fire and the bones, your hand upon the skull. That's why I waited. Go, but be warned. The shrines are no longer sacred. They're fouled by hatred, and the guardians who watch over them do not rest. Go, but don't lose your will. I've been waiting for you. I knew you'd succeed. Fire and bone do not lie. There's no time left, child. The horned god is tearing Gudri's body apart, and his fury fills the air. Soon, his essence will break loose and devour everything in its path. I must begin the ritual. But I fear he may be too blinded by rage and pain to see the first trophy as anything more than bone and memory. Your path leads to the unrealm of the hunt. There, you'll face the horned god. If you can weaken him, if you can break through the frenzy even for a moment, then the first trophy might reach what's left of his old self. I understand. He's the chieftain after all. But be wary of his words. Oh, child, we both know you're not entirely human. Your second soul will guide you where others lose their way and perish. Whatever is going through your mind right now, there is no other option. We need you and your help. If you need to prepare, go. I'll open the passage for you anyway. But remember, you're not going there to bring death to the Horned God. Wound him, weaken him, then return. That's when the trophy will speak, and I will close the gate behind you. Hopefully, for good. Take care. The Horned God does not forgive weakness. Your actor. But take.
Maybe he can, but so what? Gudry won't survive the process either way. Besides, if you ask me, it was foolish of my ancestors to bring that god here. They didn't know what they were doing or what the consequences would be. And now we, their descendants, are the ones left to deal with it. If they'd known what would happen, I'm sure they'd have left him back in the homelands. We need to get rid of that damn thing once and for all. Even if it means the woods stay empty and the hunt runs dry. I won't let my people live in fear anymore. For too long, my predecessors let that old witch manipulate them. Hard not to believe in something you saw with your own eyes. And now that I've seen what he's capable of, I know there's no place for him in Avalon. We made a mistake keeping him alive with our faith. If we manage to rebuild the tribe, we'll do things differently. We might not be the greatest hunters anymore, but at least we'd be alive. Besides, no one can take our skills away from us. It's true. We pride ourselves on being the best hunters in the land. And at the root of that pride lies the horned god and the supposed grace he once gave us. But if the old god failed us, we'll find ourselves a new one. At least those who feel the need to can. I'm not worried about the Svine identity. There are so few of us left. Not on my own, of course. I need your help. We need to break free from this curse once and for all. Do this for me, and the full strength of the Svine will stand with the voice of the tribes. It won't. We know too much already, and that's thanks to you. I won't lie. Your fight will be the toughest. But you've faced worse before, haven't you? Let me know when you're ready. It's time to end this madness once and for all.
By what right do you tread in my realm, blasphemer? Who dare stand before me unbidden? The call. I answered it, as I have done for centuries. And the moment I stepped beyond my realm, the weirdness consumed me. The hunt that began then was unlike the hunts I behold through the eyes of my followers. I was the hunter, they the prey, and I felt in that moment as if it had always been so. Only those who summoned me were hidden from my sight. Glirna. She has long been attuned to my call. I watched the world through her eyes. When I answered the summons and the weirdness took hold, our bond was severed. Glirna must have sensed it. That rage I felt, it was not my own.
the sacrifice was taken, I knew it had not been done by my will. If Glirna knows how to restore our connection, I accept this path. Then do what must be done, mortal. Summon me only in the light of day. If any follower dares to call upon me by night, my wrath shall fall upon them. To you, mortal, I grant mercy. Go now and carry my decree.
The Stag Father has returned to his true form. I felt our bond rekindle. His power restored to its original untainted essence. Thank you for understanding. You've restored our identity. Yes, I hear his call within my soul. His will is our law. His wrath will fall upon those who dare summon him by night. And he will hunt them by day. For by night he shall not answer. That is Barlam's will and decision. He tends to mortal affairs, and that order will stand. My calling is to restore faith and trust in the Stag Father. That is the greater mission, to remind us all who we truly are. We will return to our roots. Once more we shall be masters of the hunt by the Stag Father's grace. We will endure, for such is our fate. No weirdness, no worldly matter shall lead us from the sacred path we walk. The world may fall, the weirdness may consume all, and yet the swine shall remain wrapped in the Stag Father's favor. Walk the path of light, mortal. It's the Horned God's domain, a place where time does not flow beyond the reach of humankind. Once it was lush and alive, where the hunt was sacred, wild, pulsing with green and the crimson of blood, teeming with beasts and birds in the boughs. I doubt it still is. Go. The
You didn't kill him? Then how do you know he won't still be a threat? Bloody Glerners filled your head with all that talk. No swine without the Stagfather. Truth is, the tribe still stands in spite of him. No one knows if he won't break free one day and finish what he started. And thanks to you, that axe is still hanging over our heads. We'll rebuild the village, lick our wounds, bury our dead. Learn to live in the Stagfather's shadow. We'll survive, at least until he breaks free. We won't survive another attack like that. I'll be chief as long as that's what the tribe wants. But if they'd rather have one of Glirna's followers take my place, so be it. And risk the Stagfather break. If that's going to happen, I want to be here. Tell Gerfan I've got more press. Farewell. You didn't blood no. And if that's we'll fail.
It's nice to have a break.
It's so cold. Oh, Veiled One, have mercy on us. I should not have doubted. I never should have doubted. The Queen of Winter. The Veiled One. Kailach. She watched over us, blessed us with so many gifts, but we were unworthy. We betrayed her and now we pay the price. I was once Shauna, priestess of Kailach, keeper of the herd, but now I am no one. I don't deserve my name. I was faithless. I ruined us all. The sacred herd, the weird deers of the Veiled One. They were mine to watch over, mine to protect, but they belonged to the goddess. They were never mine to give. I saw their blood staining the snow and understood the meaning of sacrilege. The gold coins felt heavy in my pocket, but my soul felt heavier still. The days grew colder, the night darker. We once lived in abundance with creatures to hunt and wares to sell. Not even swine dared tread where we roamed. Shielded by Kailach's blessing, our goods were coveted all across the forlorn swords. But then the animals vanished, the wealth dried up, and my faith, it faltered. Now I see. I never should have doubted. The coins still burn in my pocket, even after all this time.
Who dares to stand before the Queen of Winter? Let me have a look at you. Your soul is strong. Nothing like those mewling weaklings who dared to call themselves my chosen. Have you come to bow before me? Impudent! You reek of sun, warmth, and drying leaves. Of a world that knows no winter. Don't mistake me for your pathetic all-mother. I am no merciful goddess. I demand respect. Ah, I see you were never taught manners. A pity. I would freeze the breath in your lungs so you'd never utter such an insult again. But I am going to need that breath to leave this place. I may not be your goddess, but your body will serve me well, whether you like it or not.
Some, like the All-Mother, the Morrigan, and the Stag-Father, yes. But there were many others as well. It feels like we once had a god or godling for every little thing. I suppose that kind of faith faded with time. Maybe people stopped needing gods for their small troubles when every problem began to feel larger than life. I used to follow the beliefs of my clan, but I abandoned them long ago. I'm not one for blind, mindless faith. After that, I believed in ideas, in people. I believed anything could be achieved if you put your mind to it, especially on Avalon. Now, I'm not sure what I believe in anymore. I'd rather not talk about it any further.
be. I'd offer you my hand, stranger, but with the stone sleep taking me away, I reckon that's not the best idea. Still, I'm glad to see a new face before I leave this world behind. Especially someone with such a rare way about them. My name is No Leg. You're the last living soul outside my kin to hear that name. Oh no. I'm just fine with how things are. You tell me. I don't know what it is exactly, but there's something different about you. They say the stone sleep makes folk more attuned to the rare and unusual things in this world. Seems you carry one of those in you. Well, I am a stone warden, and by our custom, a day comes when a stone warden begins to slip into the stone sleep. We give ourselves to the ore. Stone our forebears carved through for ages, raising halls and strongholds from its heart. We become yet another monument to the forlorn swords. That depends on who you ask. Me, I feel no pain, just peace. I knew what I was signing up for. Every stone warden does. But not all see it the same way. My family passed long ago, so I leave no one behind. But Olaf, he still has his daughter, Fusca. And she's been arguing with Darvan for weeks now, fighting over what should become of her father. It's a deeply personal thing, different for everyone. I've known stone wardens who felt the first signs of the stone sleep at dawn, and by the next dusk, they were already searching for the place they'd turned to stone. And I've known others where it took years. There's no rule to it. I don't count the days anymore, but I can feel it's nearly time for me to choose a place for myself. When the time draws near, one makes the journey to a place where they wish to fall asleep. And finally, when their body can no longer move or feed itself, their kin tend to them, feeding them, offering water, leaving gifts, and keeping vigil as the sleep takes hold. One of the finest stone wardens I've known had a habit of diving head first into any hole he spotted underground. Nothing could stop him. Fusca doesn't agree with our tradition. Understandable. She doesn't want to lose her father. But the poor girl doesn't understand that being called to the stone is the highest honor for a stone warden. Darvan is the leader of the stone wardens, and right now, maybe the most important man in the tribe, since Tryggva's no good for anything anymore. Let's not talk nonsense, all right? Farewell, traveler. It was good to see a new face in the Ulfr village. Who knows? Maybe I'll still be around to see your coming bear some fruit.
You've returned. What news do you bring of Orgirata? What? The legend was true. Incredible! Please accept my apologies, my lord. I never intended to put you in danger.
I believe he's speaking to me. Allow me to respond. So, you tried to dispose of my friend here. Is this the famed honor of the Del Rita?
My lord, I would never wish harm upon you or your vessel. I only sought to be certain it was truly you before sharing our Brotherhood's most guarded secret. Believe me, my lord, You won't be disappointed. This
Pretty fire, yeah.
could be the very weapon you need upon your return. The Stone Warden Brotherhood has always remained loyal to you, as sworn by Ephraim the First, who had the honor of knowing you.
Ephraim. I remember him well. A loyal warrior, a wise man. I'm glad he founded the Stone Warden Brotherhood. Then, Darvan, grant us knowledge of this secret.
Of course, my lord. You need only walk the Jarl's path. At its end, you'll find a chamber where we guard our greatest weapon.
Then lead on. Let us walk the path.
Yes, my king. I shall await you at the entrance. When you're ready, I'll open the way. You're here, my king. And you, friend of our brotherhood. Beyond these doors lies what you've been searching for. I trust you'll keep the secret to yourselves. Here, this is the song that'll grant you passage. I know the door will yield before you. A great power, thankfully, tamed. A meeting with what made us who we are now. I can tell you no more. You must see it with your own eyes. I wouldn't dare. What waits within, I've already seen it long ago, and I know what it demands. But if a moment comes, one that calls for a choice, I trust you'll act in the spirit of the Stone Warden Brotherhood. No brother chooses alone.
Thank you, mortal. Your soul is strong and untainted.
And we can feel that you are not alone.
Let us repay your kindness with our wisdom. Remember this. When the time comes to decide Avalooooon's fate, peace will always be a choice. Find our kin. Seek the Weaver. You will understand.
And the path will unfold before you. It would be wise to follow it.
Well then, what do you make of it? Then this is the end. The end of the Stone Wardens. Without the Four Dwellers, we've lost the only source of knowledge for sinking steel from stone. Perhaps it was meant to be. If the king decrees it, his will is our law. I'll have the brothers focus entirely on weapon making. When we're gone, there will be no one left to craft weird steel. Thank you for intervening, my lord. And to you, my friend. It is an honor to welcome you to the Stone Warden Brotherhood. From now on, my home is your home. Should you ever need anything, you'll find me at the Stone Warden's Hall.
Yes? Who have you managed to convince? Ah, that cursed stagfather of theirs. I've heard the rumors about what happened in the Svein village. Even weakened, they would have been an important ally in the war to come. A war that might never happen if we fail to gather enough strength. Well then, if they prefer to worship a god who slaughters his own followers for amusement, who am I to judge? If that's truly their decision, Perhaps it's better they don't join us. My own brother, and this is the knife he stabs me with. Yes, that's Darvan for you. As stubborn as the hammer he swings in that massive forge of his. Of course they had to choose him as their next leader. And without the Ulfra tribe, I can't see this war happening. They are our best warriors and smiths. We might as well march on Camelot with our bare asses. How did you manage to convince the Twyde tribe? They've always kept to themselves, no matter the hardships we faced. You've done the impossible, and I want to give you an artifact the Twyde tribe once guarded. Here, a part of the king's armor they were tasked with guarding. It will aid you as you face the challenges of the king's threat. Could it be that the Volker have uncovered the truth about Mother? Unbelievable. Of all the tribes, I thought the Volker would be the least likely to show. Take these pieces of the king's armor, once guarded by the Volker. A gift in return for the help you gave him. May they serve you well in the king's threat. Go now, my king, and reclaim your crown. All the tribes can do now is patiently wait for your return.
Now you ask me, when it was your choices and actions that led to those consequences. Not all of the Dalrita came, and this is surely not the outcome Gurfhanna hoped for. But since you ask for my thoughts, the Dalrita united would be an unstoppable force. If we wish to avoid bloodshed, perhaps it's good that not everyone followed the voice of the tribes.
his burden, the man beneath the myth. I am the face that time forgot, the name that was never enough.
First, you used these people to win yourself a kingdom, and now you herded them here under threat of being stomped to death by giants if they leave or disobey. After all that they've gone through, all that they've done, all that they've suffered, this is how you intend to repay them?
No kingdom will stand with people like them within its borders. They would have to change their ways. The Del Rita are not ready for this. You know this.
You did worse than all of them combined, and you are the one responsible for all they've done so far. They fought for your name and under your banners. Does this mean you're not fit to be a king? Not ready to have a kingdom?
I left the heritage of Pendragon behind me. I severed the ties between myself and my tribe. I lost all that tied me to the past when I became king. I set a new path for myself. They are not ready to do that.
Bullshit! You forced them to go against their sacred traditions. You destroyed their identities. They betrayed their comrades because you ordered them to. They kidnapped the children of the giants because you told them to do it. Everything they did was so that you could win this war. And now what? You're going to punish them for being your best, fiercest soldiers, most loyal of your men?
This is not...
Oh, stop with your excuses already! You broke them, and now you're abandoning them to starve or freeze to death in these damned lands.
This kingdom needs to be built on peace, Caradoc. Letting them live among merchants, lords, and ladies in Camelot or Timberwall. How would that go?
Exactly as anyone would expect it to go.
So we would end up with a civil war. Right after we won the war that almost annihilated us all.
Oh, damn you. I've had enough. I stood by you through everything. Even what you did to me. To Seawall. I let it all slide. I told myself it was for something. For a noble cause. But this is where I draw the line. I renounce my oaths, and I'm walking away. Put a blade in my back if that helps you sleep. I don't care. Not anymore.
Now I remember it all. I left the best of my people here. I betrayed their loyalty. And for what? Everything is in ruin. Everything I struggled to build is corrupted. This land, it had a glorious past, but it has no future. There is no way to save it. I know. I see it now. And it was my decision that cost them the ability to grow and change. I may have been right about the diagnosis. Now I see I could have been wrong about the cure. The tribes helped us win the war. They were fearless and followed every order. They were the most loyal of all. But I left them broken. And after the war, their bloodlust was insatiable. I had to do something. This felt like the only choice. The giants sided with our enemy. We had to find a way to remove them from the equation. So, under cover of night, the tribes stole their children. I told the giants their offspring were our hostages, and that we would slaughter them if they refused to bend the knee. One of the most humiliating moments of that whole war, both for me and for the Del Rita. I come from the Pendragon bloodline, a heritage drenched in as much blood as that of the Del Rita. A heritage that pillaged and fought in the homelands for longer than anyone can remember, and unable to build anything that withstood the test of time. I decided to leave it behind me when we won the war against the Four-Dwellers, and built our kingdom on Avalooooon on stronger foundations. Now we've seen that my bloodline must have been cursed. Caradoc had the clearest eyes of any of us. He saw things for what they were, and I think I destroyed that. Destroyed him with all I did. I turned him into this. And now he's only a shadow of the man I once knew. He used to carry hope. Now all he carries is vengeance. There's nothing left. Nothing worth saving. Nothing worth rebuilding. I gave everything I had to this land. My blood, my soul, my name. And the land devoured it all. I betrayed the ones who believed in me. I cut down the men who fought for me. I turned away from my own blood to build something better. And all I built was another ruin. I thought I was forging a future. I was just extending the fall. Do what you want. There's nothing about this land that I recognize anymore. All I've ever done got turned into dust, corrupted against my intentions, destroyed. Why bother?
once and future king, you return. Speak your will through the mortal you now inhabit. Is it time for us to awaken? The Dalrida have long been our allies. Through their eyes, we have watched your kingdom fall into corruption. Camelot will fall. Your will shall be done.
We are ready to begin the moot. We were only waiting for your return, once and future king. You were strong enough to walk the king's thread, and you conquered it. What is your will, my king? What decision have you made regarding the giants? Glory be to you, once and future king. Fame and honor to you for all time. Thanks to you, Camelot will fall, and with it, the dead laws and the suppression of the Dalrida tribes. Thank you, my king, for your intervention. I, the voice of the Dalrida tribes, accept your decision with humility and gratitude.
So, you finally made it. Took you long enough. I hope you're ready, because this is it. The beginning of the end. Philosophically, not you specifically, but someone like you. Literally, yes, and I was getting quite bored with the wait. Ready to finish your journey, of course. You've come far, but every path ends somewhere. Yours ends here, in the heart of it all. This is the Charred Conclave, a graveyard for druids, burned alive as scapegoats for the Red Death. It's a reminder of what happens when people fear what they don't understand. They spoke out. They should have stayed silent, kept to their herbs and potions, but they didn't. They believed their ancient knowledge, ugly and painful truths from times long past, could save Avalon from the plague. And maybe they were right. But people don't want the truth when it's covered in blood. Cruel rituals, sacrifices. But to the people, everything they did was unnatural, costly, and frightening. The druids believed their results would justify the costs. They thought Avalon would see them as saviors. But the people didn't understand, and fear turned to fire. Well, the Red Church and their politicians made sure of that. The druids became a convenient enemy, a way to shift the blame and tighten their grip on power. It's always so simple, so banal, isn't it? Well, death doesn't always mean an ending. It was a sacrifice so costly, so cruel, so pointless, that it tore a rift in the fabric of this world. An ultimate wound. And so you're the closest you'll ever come to seeing the true shape of this world. To greet you, I was once where you are now. A knight with questions, searching for answers. That search led me to this place. And here I found my answers. Now it's your turn. Well, first, you're going to meet my former employer. We don't see eye to eye anymore, but we both realize that our collaboration yields results, as shown by you being here. He'll try to sugarcoat the hard truths I've been telling you from the beginning, spin them differently. Never mind. Why waste time here talking about it when you're just a step from the end? It's best if you just go forth and see for yourself. Just remember, this is the point of no return. Once you've stepped through, there's no going back. But if you've come this far, I suppose you already knew that. Go on. He's waiting for you.